The silence is wrong. KLN feels it in her bones. A low hum of dread that the chirping insects and distant groan of a grazing triceratops cannot mask her son. Ren crouches ahead, he spears a splinter of bone and flint against the enormous, blood-red ferns. He signals to fingers. Then a closed fist to juvenile Hadrosaurus. A good morning's work, but the silence persists. A hollow space where the small, skittering sounds of the undergrowth should be. This is the truth of their prehistoric life, a constant, gnawing anxiety, a world that watches them with hungry eyes. The river, their lifeblood, has become a place of whispers and shadows. In recent weeks something has changed the rhythm of the valley. Ren rises slowly, a shadow detaching from other shadows. He takes a step toward the unsuspecting prey, and that is when the world tears open. It is not a roar, but a series of sharp, guttural clicks from the left. A distraction. Ren's head snaps toward the sound, his training screaming at him, but the attack comes from the right. A 6-foot-tall hurricane of feathers and fury erupts from the ferns. It is a member of the Dromaeosaurian family, a Utahraptor, its sickle claw already swinging forward. Ren leaps back, his spear coming up just in time to catch the raptor's lunge on the hardened wood shaft. But it is a feint as he braces. A second raptor bursts from cover behind him. Silent as a falling leaf, the clan, hidden only, watch in horror. This is not a hunt, this is an execution. It is a form of ambush predation more complex than anything they had ever witnessed. The second raptor's claw, a shard of obsidian death, catches Ren across the thigh. He screams, a sound swallowed by the jungle. The first raptor presses its advantage, its powerful jaws snapping inches from his face from the tree line. A third, larger figure emerges. This one is scarred, one eye a milky white orb, and it watches not the kill, but KLN and the others on the ridge. It is the alpha. It understands they are there. It wants them to see. It is teaching them a lesson in fear. A chilling chapter in hominid history. The other hunters scream Ren's name, but they are too far, pinned down by the cold, intelligent gaze of the alpha. They see the moment the life leaves Ren's eyes, the final, desperate twitch of his fingers. The pack does not feast. They drag the body back into the red ferns, leaving only a dark smear on the soil. The silence that returns is no longer wrong. It is absolute. It is the sound of a world that has just reminded the Sunstone clan that they are not the hunters here, they are the prey. The clan moves on, but the rhythm is broken. Fear is the new cadence. A shuffling, hesitant pace. Malak walks at the head of the column now, a position he has assumed without challenge. The clan members huddle closer to him, their eyes darting not toward the path ahead, but toward the empty, unforgiving sky. He speaks to them in a low murmur, weaving a tale of power and appeasement, of the great feathered serpents that rule this canyon. A strange echo of Aztec mythology that will not exist formal, and yet he promises safety in exchange for faith. Lyra watches from the rear, her jaw tight. Two of the younger hunters, Kesh and Drina, walk with her. Their faces are grim. They saw a predator take a clan mate. Malak's followers saw a god accept a sacrifice. It is a schism that runs deeper than any canyon. His words are poison. Kesh whispers, his knuckles white around the shaft of his spear, a fine piece of osteodontocratic technology. With a serrated bone tip, he will have us walk into their beaks, thanking them for the honor. Lyra does not answer immediately. She is watching the far cliffs, the jagged spires where the great beast disappeared. A hunter does not cower. A hunter does not cower. A hunter learns. We will not give him another, she finally says, her voice slow and hard. Tonight, when the moons rise, we move. That evening, as Malak leads a chilling chant to the darkening sky, Lyra and her two companions slip away from the camp. They carry only water skins, their sharpest flints, and the cold fury that has settled in their hearts. They climb for hours. They use the Moonho's shoulder as cover, scaling the treacherous rock face opposite the clan's path, moving toward the spires. Every loose stone is a potential death sentence, every gust of wind a threat from a high ledge. They see at the rookery dozens of the creatures, Quetzalcoatlus, are perched on the stone pillars. Their immense, folded wings like tattered cloaks. Some are tending to nests the size of huts. The air is thick with their sharp, clicking calls and the foul stench of carrion. This is no place of gods. It is a lair of monsters, a cornerstone of this unforgiving prehistoric world. They spend the entire next day watching, their bodies aching, their throats dry. They map the flight paths, the hunting times, the century patterns they learn. Then they see a small herd of gallimimus races through the canyon floor below, their panic calls echoing upwards as they pass a section of unstable cliff face. Their vibrations trigger a small rockslide. It is not large, but the sound, the sharp, cracking, thunderous roar of stone on stone panics the entire rookery. The great beasts launch into the air in a disoriented, screeching mass, colliding with one another, their graceful flight patterns shattered into chaos. They do not attack, they flee the sound. It is a moment of pure, instinctual panic. A flicker of an idea, sharp and dangerous, ignites in Lyra's mind, a weapon made not of flint or bone, but of the mountain itself. They work in the grey dawn, their hands raw, their muscles screaming. The choke point is a narrow throat of rock, the only path forward for a half-day's march. Above it, a cliff face hangs pregnant with loose scree and precariously balanced boulders. For 2 days, Lyra, Kesh, and Drina have labored here, using stout branches as levers and their sharpest hand axes, the pinnacle of their lithic technology, to weaken the final keystones below them. A single, massive pillar of rock acts as the final anchor. One good shelf is all it will take. It is an audacious feat of primitive engineering, a desperate gamble born from observation. This is how early humans survived, not with courage and cleverness. The clan appears as the sun first touches the canyon rim. A line of weary figures moving with the slowed red of the condemned Malak leads them. He stops. He looks up, not at the sky, but directly at the weakened cliff face, as if he can smell the sacrilege in the air. His eyes find Lyra's, and for a moment, an abyss of understanding and hatred passes between them. At that same moment, a shadow falls, then another. The Quetzalcoatlus sentries are beginning their morning patrol. Time has run out now. Lyra screams, her voice a ross-airing sound. With a collective grunt, she, Kesh, and Drina throw their weight against the branch lever jammed against the anchor stone. It groans, resists, then gives way with a deafening crack. For a horrifying second, nothing happens. Then the mountain begins to scream. A cascade of pebbles becomes an avalanche of boulders. The entire cliff face shears away, plunging into the canyon throat with a cataclysmic roar that shakes the very foundations of the world. The sound is a physical blow, a wave of thunder that eclipses all else down below. The Quetzalcoatlus flock, startled from their nests, erupt into a chaos of flapping wings and panicked shrieks. Blinded by dust and deafened by the noise, they collide and scatter, their divine authority shattered by a sound they cannot comprehend. The sky is cleared, but on the path there is a different kind of chaos. The clan members are thrown to the ground by the shockwave, rocks and debris raining around them. When the dust begins to settle, Malak rises. His face is a mask of pure fury, his eyes burning with the fire of a betrayed prophet blasphemer. He roars, pointing his staff at Lyra, who is scrambling down the newly formed scree slope. You have struck the gods, you have doomed us all. He charges at her, his staff raised like a club. He is not trying to subdue her, he is trying to kill her. Kesh intercepts him, his own spear coming up to block the blow. The wood splinters. Malak, possessed by a fanatic strength, shoves Kesh aside and lunges for Lyra. Rena is fast to her flint knife, a tool for skinning game, flashes once. Malak stumbles, a look of profound shock on his face. He looks down at the dark, spreading stain on his tunic, then back at Lyra. They will follow you now, he whispers, and collapses. A silence falls, broken only by the whimpering of the terrified in the distant, fading cries of the pterosaurs. The path is open, but the clan is broken. Lyra stands over the body of the man who would have sacrificed them all, the cost of survival, a fresh wound in the heart of her people. Embers and echoes. The schism was absolute. Half the clan, their faith shattered and their leader slain, refused to follow Lyra, turning back into the canyon's embrace, seeking a different path, or perhaps a different god. They were never seen again. Lyra led the remaining survivors out into the harsh sunlight of the plains, a people smaller in number, but forged in the crucible of choice. Their flight from the abyss was more than a migration. It was a fundamental shift in the tectonics of human thought. It was the moment a small band of Homo sapiens looked at a god, saw only a predator, and chose to fight the predator rather than appease the god. This brutal act of defiance, this rejection of a comforting but lethal faith in favor of a dangerous, empirical truth, was a quantum leap in the story of our species. The echoes of those screaming stones did not just scatter a flock of reptiles from a forgotten age. They carved the path for reason, for science, for the audacious belief that humanity need not be a victim of the world, but could, with enough courage and intellect, become its master. They paid for that knowledge in blood and unity, A price our ancestors would pay again and again. Their struggle poses the eternal question: what is the greater act of faith, to bow before the monster in the sky, or to believe in the strength of the human mind to bring it crashing down to earth? This is the chronicle of our ascent, written not in ink, but in the fossilized bones of those who dared to look up and say, no. But beneath the waves of the great inland sea, intelligence was taking a different, colder form.